Are you Jewish? Is that why you have the Hebrew on your Bible?
I'm not Jewish. I believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But I do abide by the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible.
Oh, cool.
And I keep the Passover and do all the other.
You do Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Because I'm Jewish. So that's why
awesome. Right on. Cool. So we got a deep conversation. Yeah, I have a mezuzah and all that stuff.
Good for you.
I absolutely believe that when Jesus meant what he said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, when he said, I did not come to destroy the law or the prophets, but to fulfill. Then you look up what the definition of fulfill means. It means to do.
Right.
So if he said to emulate me, and the things he's doing are what the prophets talked about and what the Torah says to do, I'm going to take that at face value and believe that that's the truth. But I've got Hayel Ha Elohim and Ni'amam Lav Mishaba. And then on the top of my feet, I've got the Aleph and Tav.
Right.
And then on my ankle, I have a little acronym. It says, all praise to the Most High Yah. And then I've got Yeshua there.
Right.
And then Yahweh right there around the time when King David would have been writing it.
Right.
And then on my back,
cool.
that says Israel.
Right.
In dynastic period, Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Wow.
So during the time of the Exodus.
That's for sure.
I love it.
Are you a theology major or something?
No, I just, honestly, to be completely candid with you, I was in college and I used to party, to say the least.
Right.
And, I grew up like a Easter, Christmas Christian or whatever.
Right.
And in 2015, when I moved to South Georgia to go to school, I just kept seeing the word Genesis everywhere that year.
Uh-huh.
Genesis. So the movie like Terminator Genesis was coming out. The new Hyundai Genesis was coming out. There was a few street names down in my college town that was named Genesis. I think that like 2 businesses were called Genesis. It was like...
So you thought that was like a sign from the universe?
No, I thought it was a sign from Yahweh.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to read Genesis. So I read Genesis. And I was like, well, I'm just going to keep going. And I just kept reading the Torah over and over again. And then I finally told my mom, I was like, yo, I got to be honest with you. I've completely dropped out of school and haven't been going to class. I've literally just been reading the Bible and looking for trades to get into.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to come home. And she's like, all right. So I came home and started working at a concrete plant. And then kind of got involved with a girl. So got distracted. And then like a year or 2 later, year and a half later, I broke up with her because, again, I just had like another revelation and just kept seeing things again that I couldn't not see. I also have this. It's a Hebrew dial and it's set at 444.
Wow. 444, which is 16, which is 7, which means what?
444 has like so many meanings in so many different cultures, and even in the Hebraic culture, this gematria has so many meanings, but the one I like is God does work on earth through his people, and I thought that was kind of cool.
So did you like read up on the numerology and all that stuff too?
I'm not like, I'm not crazy like knowledgeable about it, but I know that the Hebrew language in its gematria form is some of the most fascinating things you can look into.
Yeah.
And it's very deep. It's a lot more than, like that whole language is just, there's 4 less letters than English, but it's just infinitely deeper and better in every way.
It amazes me how much you know. I mean, I got bat mitzvahed as an adult, and because my mom was Christian and my dad was Jewish, and so we were kind of raised with a little bit of each.
Yeah.
And then when I had kids, I converted so that they'd be Jewish, and because that's what I identify with. But like so much more than I even think about.
Like I don't eat pork or anything like I eat
kids.
kosher because Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy chapter 14, the food laws. Hell, yesterday during Shabbat, I was just, my understanding of like don't do any work is for the most part I'm an electrician, so like I shouldn't be doing like electrical work.
Right.
But I just went outside. I had the book of Isaiah playing and I was doing some yard work and stuff like that.
What do you mean you had it playing?
On my phone, just
Does
it was reading out to me,
that's pretty
and
cool.
I was just working to it. I'll be in the gym sometimes listening. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I cuss like a sailor, and I smoke cigars and love to drink alcohol and all that stuff. But then again, Jesus' first public miracle was turning water into wine.
There you go.
Paul said something about how the Gentiles of the world will, something about dung in it. In the Greek, it's translated as, excuse my language, but shit.
Yeah.
And then just things like that. And I believe a curse is identified and defined in Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy 28. And it's not what like the West defines as a curse.
So what is it?
I believe it's not following the Torah. I believe that's how you get curses brought upon you. Like there's one example of, I think it's Balaam tried to overtake Israel as they moved into the land of Canaan, and he literally could not beat them in battle. So he got with somebody, and they were like, you cannot defeat them. Their God is with them, but they can defeat themselves. They can bring curses upon themselves. Send them beautiful women. And they sent them beautiful women. And I think some sexually transmitted diseases were spread because I forget the tribe, but Phinehas killed him, and like an army of Israelites killed like 20,000 members of one of the tribes. I forget the tribe. It's drawing a blank, but I think that's one way to bring a curse upon you. Just things like that. I also have this, if you don't mind me looking at you. Got that.
And what is that?
That's Arabic, the letter Nun. It's like they're in.
Yeah.
Like Nazarene, like Jesus of Nazareth.
Yeah.
In the Middle East, back in like 2010 to 2015-ish, when ISIS was kind of powerful with their caliphate over there.
Yeah.
They were persecuting like believers in Messiah and making them, like kind of how Hitler made Jewish people wear a Star of David in the Middle East. They were making them wear this.
Right.
So they just took it upon themselves and started branding them, not like branding with metal,
Right.
but like just putting the patch on themselves.
Right.
And like being like, we're not afraid of you.
And
then word got over here to America, and there's, you know how like there's lots of different communities of social groups and things like that. Well, there's people that like to like have guns and stuff in this country.
Really?
And, exactly. Well, there's many different sects of that thing, and a lot of them are like believers, and they started wearing this as like patches and things, and like spreading the word, and like kind of aligning with the persecuted people.
Yeah.
And just trying to have solidarity. That's how I found out about it. I could talk for days,
Do
but
you have a photographic memory?
no, I could probably have a better memory if I didn't do some of the other things I do. But it's definitely one of like, I think it's the coolest topic. And these tattoos make it even more fun to talk about, because now I've noticed since I've gotten them, I haven't started a conversation about my faith in a long time because of these, because people just ask me, and when they ask, it's like, oh, I got you now.
We opened up the spigot.
Exactly, and they're curious, so I can really deliver it in a way that's not preachy and more just interesting.
Yeah.
And
well, you started off good for me because it was about what Jesus stands for and not hatred and all that other stuff. You know,
oh yeah,
which
absolutely.
is what we need now. So.
Well, I found it cool too. So, you know, I was like a Christian or whatever, in the sense that if some random person asked me on the street, do you believe in Jesus? I'd have been like, yeah, but I couldn't have told you anything about him. But then, I don't know, I just started reading it for myself, and it's all one big book from
Do you
Genesis.
go to a synagogue ever?
No, I don't. I have Jewish cousins, and I've been to their synagogue
Right.
years and years and years ago. But I had never. I don't belong to any local synagogue or even any local church, because
Well, you know,
one, I go to a synagogue and I've got Jesus tattooed on me, so it's like conflict already. And then I go to a church and I got menorahs on me, so it's like conflict already. Because, you know, if I go to synagogue, they're going to look at me like I'm a pagan, or I believe in a different God. Whereas if I go to a Christian church, they're going to look at me as like a Pharisee or like a law person, like somebody that just, you know what I mean, puts the
I don't agree with you. I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with that.
You think I'd be fine at a synagogue?
Well, listen, some people look down on everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, I go and I think, oh, so I'm overweight. Everybody here is going to hate me. You know, they're all going to look bad at me. Mm-hmm. And it's that kind of thing. And so many Jewish people now are secular.
That is a really good point. I'm pretty sure Judaism, like them as an ethnic group, are like some of the most irreligious people on earth.
Yeah, it's culturally, we're a people that, you know, likes who we are. Mm-hmm. So, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, I got Jewish cousins. He was actually, honestly, you're absolutely right, because when I told him that I was doing Sukkot, I've done Sukkot, this will be my 5th year doing Feast of Tabernacles, and we actually go out and live in tents in the mountains of Georgia we go for like 9 or 10 days, though, just because we like to camp. Are you with a group of people that believe the same thing you do? It was a bigger group, but a couple of them had kids, and we're already spread out, and then it was me and my 2 roommates, and one of them kind of went off and did his own thing. He still has the faith, I'm pretty sure, but he got a girlfriend and just kind of just starting a family or whatever. But me and my current roommate, we have very, very similar. Everything I just told you, he would agree with.
Really?
But I mean, I'm sure we've got some discrepancies like everybody. But for the most part, yeah.
But is that called anything in particular? You know how they have like Jews for Jesus, or
I guess if you were to put, I don't like the label because for me personally, I'm just Israel. Right. Because I'm a grafted in member of the cultivated olive tree. Yeah. That's what I believe. I mean, it's not even really what I believe. That's just what the Bible says. Right. Like all over it.
But I mean, like if you wanted to go and be with people who have the same beliefs you do.
I would identify, the closest people I would identify with would be along the lines of Hebrew roots, Messianics, or...
not Hasidic, right?
No, definitely not. What would it be?
Yeah, I've heard of Messianic Jews.
So God, there's one more though. I can't think of the term, but
I stumped you.
You stumped me. I told you I'm not perfect. The Hebrew, and you know, I got a nickname for them. I call them the Hebrew uprooters and the messy antics, because it's just a bunch of people that are chasing knowledge and trying to be smarter than their neighbor. And I know one thing: when we're standing in front of Jesus and God's judging us, I don't believe that He's going to give us a written test on our Torah knowledge. I think He's going to dissect our heart and also couple that with our actions, and we're all going to look at our lives, and He's going to judge us. Right. And
I don't believe in Jesus, but I do believe that.
I'm getting that straight out of Ezekiel, is what I'm saying. Yeah. And Isaiah.
I do believe Jesus existed, you know that.
Yeah, no, you just don't believe He was the Messiah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, no, I don't even not believe that. I don't have any. I'm agnostic, I guess.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I'm not saying it's not true, and I'm not saying it's not.
Oh, I fully understand.
I just don't know, but I don't have any. I mean, I like everybody. I don't like everybody. Forget that I said that. I don't like Nazis. I don't like the Proud Boys. I don't. You know, there's all sorts of people I don't like. But I think anybody that's faith-based, legitimately, is going to be a nice person. Mm-hmm. They care about other people. That's who I care about.
Yeah,
you know, that's who I like.
I know one thing. I've found myself, since I've come to this belief, not even really come to this belief, come to a better understanding, have my eyes open, have experienced some things, has been humbled. Like my tattoo artist, he's an atheist. And we're really good. Well, I wouldn't say we're good friends, but he's like, we click. We know how to talk to each other. And he has morals and stuff and everything. But I say that because, like, you know, a lot of...
Oh, I'll just sweep that.
No, I can do it really quick. I guess what I'm getting at is, like, the whole Bible talks about, like, it's like it's God talking to Israel, his people. And then Christians and Jews and even Muslims, the three Abrahamic faiths, they want to stream at the world when God was streaming at them the whole time in all their holy books.
Right.
And we need to focus more inwardly than outwardly. But a lot of people are extremely heavenly minded, which makes them blind on earth. And it's maddening to me because you say, that's one thing why I don't do the whole group thing. I'm just like, I believe in the whole Bible cover to cover. And if you need a name, I'm Israel. Just because I'm grafted in. Because Israel was a nation of people, not a piece of land in the Middle East doing crazy stuff.
Right. Interesting. You're a very smart guy and very well read, and I'm impressed that you can say all that stuff. That you remember it all. Like I could read Genesis today, and tomorrow would be gone from my brain at this point, So it's neat that you'd like that.
I appreciate that.
I'm going to go in for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Are you almost done?
Yeah, I just have to clean this up. I'm going to put everything up. I'm going to get that plugged in. I'm going to get you to plug it into your car.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'll be completely done.
And what was I going to ask you? It just went out of my brain. See what I said about my brain? I'll remember it by the time I come out.
Okay.
Oh, do you take Venmo? Or you want to?
I don't have it. If you have a check, that works too. Thank you.
Okay.